Yo, what's up? This is Shadow Rockin' PROFOWON of the Floor Gangs and Knuckleneck Tribe.
And aloha kako, this is JASOUL from Eternal Style and BTR Breaking.
And you're watching GEARHDZ Breakcast, the podcast that hacks culture and movement. How's everything going, Jay? How you been? I haven't seen you in a while.
Hot. Hot right now. It's 101. It's humid. Yeehaw!
Yeehaw! Is that hot right now? Is that hot right now?
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yeah, everything's going good, man. Getting acclimated here to the heat.
Right.
I actually went down to YA. You mentioned that.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, dope. What'd you think?
I learned a little bit about the history behind it, but I remember you bringing it up in one of our podcasts.
Yeah.
I think it was the pilot actually where we were talking about Jeffro and you're talking about the Houston scene that you knew about.
Yeah.
Dope history right there, man, with the YA. Right. I forgot what it stands for, but it's basically for youth. It's a program out here that brought up Havoc Coro, Jose from Renegades.
Hazardous Zombies. Hazardous Zombies. Yep.
Yeah. So he runs it now. I went down, checked it out. It's super cool and inviting. And yeah, he broke down the history. He's like, yeah, man, this guy named Charles. He's like an older fella. He was the one that put it on and had like all young Havoc Coral and all the historic the crews out here. And yeah, it's one of the staple programs that brought up the Houston scene. So it's really cool that it's still running till today. And this is like the 90s when it started. So yeah, I got to be a part of that. I've seen a lot of young and up and coming heads out there. Not too many OGs, but yeah, man, it's cool connecting with the Houston community out here.
Yeah, it's dope. Yeah. It's dope because like basically like it's something like a weekly. It's like almost like it's more than a session because like they have like weekly like competitions and stuff like that too. Yes. And again, like, that's what's crazy. And it gets them battle ready, it gives them floor time, right? I think that's one of the dopest things about YA out there. So shout out to people out there, the YA out there in Houston, Texas. As far as what I've been doing, I just been doing my thing, training.
Yo, bro.
Yeah.
Besides rocking fresh chains and beanies, what you been doing, bro?
Yeah, I just been training, man. What did I do last week? Just a lot of training, just a lot of like trying to like work on my flexibility, dude. To be honest, that's all I ever do is work on my flexibility, work on my mobility on my back, because that was a thing that I lacked a lot. Like I didn't stretch back in the day, and now I'm like paying for it, right? Because I didn't like I did even all the workouts, but I never used to like stretch. And now that I'm jumping rope a lot, I use that as a good warm up. My fascia, and then I started to do like more bridges and stuff like that. So it's really training.
Yo, bro,
yeah, that's about it.
Yourself. Don't beat yourself with stretching, man. We're finding out a lot of movement specialists that stretching isn't exactly what we need for the dynamic movement demands that we need on our body.
Right. I mean, it's just it's certain things because I want to hit certain moves. You know what I mean? Like I want to, I want to have that because I'm like really stiff here, and I just concentrated on front heavy versus the back. Yeah, I neglected it, so that's why it's like it's really more imbalanced, right? Because it's like, and I feel like I need to open up the shoulders and chest a little bit more and stuff like that.
Why do you feel?
Why
do you feel like you need to? Where is this intuitive sense that you need to balance out the front and the anterior and posterior?
Because there were certain movements I would do, and it's rough, like doing chairs. Like my chairs aren't good, stuff like that I see other people do real easy. And I noticed too that as I'm opening up my chest and my lower back, it's like it's easier kind of to do moves too. You know what I mean? And I neglected certain things, and it messed up my shoulder. You know what I'm saying? And doing wrong techniques and overcompensating, you know what I'm saying? So, and that's gonna segue into this, my recovery for all that crazy stuff, my shoulders. We got our sponsor.
You got into this
Zen World. Yeah, Zen World. Nano drops right here.
Nano. That's like
Yeah.
that's from Iron Man. Nano.
Nanotechnology, bro. And I got the
right?
roll-on too. The topical roll-on. You just when my shoulders like feeling all like tense, I just put this stuff on and it makes my shoulder numb.
Yeah,
but in a good way. But actually in a good way, because there's like it kind of burns too. I didn't know that I was gonna like kind of like heat it too. So I was like, oh shit, it's kind of like an icy hot also. So I was like pleasantly surprised when I used it. You know what I mean?
When I'm tense, I go to a topical climate myself. You know, the warm, the heat from going to a topical place.
Yeah.
Hawaii actually, in the topics. But yeah, it really loosens the body.
Yeah, man. So that's the thing. Like, what's that?
Topical, man. What is that? What is that, bro?
Basically, you put it on top of your skin, right? Like that's the thing. Since this is a roll-on, right? This is a roll-on. So basically, like let me show you a little bit. So this is a roll-on. The liquid is in here, right? The CBD liquid is on here, and you basically, I'll just even demonstrate it. Like you just put it on there, and with CBD, obviously, it's from the marijuana plant, but it doesn't give you like the effects of the psychoactive effects of marijuana. CBD is good for like inflammation and basically healing properties, right? And I've been using CBD for a while, even though I smoke marijuana. I've been using CBD for about a year, and it's like, yeah, I would vouch for it. Like right after recovery, right after I work out, it's good to kind of just have something that relaxes your body and breaks down inflammation, because that's the main cause of like a lot of like illness is inflammation, right? That's what like all these crazy diseases, when they cause inflammation, that's what stops the body working properly, right? And yeah, so give a shout out to Zen World, zenworld.com, 15% off with the promo code GEARHDZ. Check them out.
Use that profo code.
Yeah. GEARHDZ. not the promo code. That's a different thing. We're going to use the GEARHDZ code for this one. You know what I mean? To all the gearheads out there.
Yes, sir.
All right. So, so give a shout out to Zen World. So, what we're here for, the show today is...
What are we talking about, man?
We're episode 10. Congrats, man. Happy anniversary, episode 10. Who thought we were going to make it this far? The 80s Breaksploitation era, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I misspelled that.
Yo, bro. I know Breaksploitation isn't a real word. It's an amalgamation, right? Which is the combination of two words. But you definitely forgot the T, and we'll do that in post pro right there.
Yeah. No, right here. Boom.
We got the technology.
Bam. So, there you go.
Oh, you forgot the T at the very end.
Okay. Live shit. Live. This is raw.
Struggle stream.
Exploit. Yep. Say Shion. There you go. Shion.
So, Matt, I was born in 85. That means before I could actually think and be aware, socially aware, was into the 90s already.
Right.
So, man, bro, you're old, bro. Let's be real. Let's start. You probably came up in the 80s, right?
Actually,
talk about today. This is Paul's moment right now.
Okay, so here's the thing. So my cousin Raymond Alba, he was a b-boy back in 1981 in San Francisco, and he taught me and my brother when I was in second grade how to do like waves and the worms and strut and stuff like that, and that was back in 1983. So I've seen firsthand everything that from the 80s. It was like, why it stuck out, because it was like, these are the things that stuck out to me in the 80s, which was Superman, Batman, Spider-Man, Bruce Lee, and breaking.
What about Simpsons?
That didn't exist yet. That was in 1988.
Yes, 80s.
80s. Come on, man.
The Homer Simpson, that's a movie tried.
Yeah, that's 1988, and it's originally from Matt Groening's Life is Hell comic strip. Then the original cartoon was on the Tracy Ullman Show on the In Between. Then Fox picked it up as a full series from the Tracy Ullman Show.
Damn.
Okay, so that's the thing about me, man. Me and dates and pop culture.
Schooling you right
I
now.
pull it. I'll pull it. But yeah. So the reason why we came up with this topic is because first of all, like you said, you were like born in what, 85, right? So breaking was already dead by then in America by 85. It was pretty much dead. Only the hardcore did it. But when I came up on it when I was 7 years old, dude, everyone did it. Everyone break. This is how, like, all right, this is how popular breaking was when I was like a kid. So you know all the Fortnite dances, like what everyone, like, you know, all the kids love the Fortnite dances, like, you know, the floss dance, the orange justice dance, all these dances from Fortnite, right? You'll see them do like all these like modern dances, right? Like you've seen that, right, Jay?
Yeah, I've heard it. Yeah, the floss.
That's how big breaking was. It was that big, as big as that, if not maybe bigger. So that's when a lot of b-boys that are practitioners, they never lived through that.
Yeah.
They don't remember that. You know what I mean? They don't remember when it was like it was the thing to do. Breaking was bigger than rap. Breaking was bigger than rap. Breaking was the end of the gateway drug to hip hop. Because it was the first visual thing you would see. And they're like, people are spitting on their heads and doing windmills. So it stood out more.
Era, right?
Huh? From the 80s.
From this era.
Yes.
Yep, the 80s, right?
Yep.
So real quick, let's look up the definition. Let's read the definition of exploitation. It's
Okay.
the action or fact of treating someone unfairly in order to benefit from their work. How did this happen in the 80s, bro?
I think it's the whole thing. The whole thing was, to me, the whole thing was that, you know, most of the kids in the Bronx and most of the street kids, they're, you know, labeled as bad kids. So the first thing that they would, you know, they saw of hip hop was like probably the kids going to the grill, like Rocksteady going to the grills, going down to Manhattan, where, you know, where all the art scene is. And then Bambaataa used to DJ at Michael Holman's Negrills Club, and then Rocksteady would go, the Flow Masters would go. So you saw people of media saw these kids getting down, and that stood out more. So like, if we film this will be something, you know. And I think that's how it started. If we film this cultural event, and they just saw as like some street kids that, you know, it's like someone like you would never expect to create something original. They're like, let's film it. But the thing is, there was no definitions of what hip hop was or is. Yeah, it was still being created. So when
they created a story for it, right? With these movies that we're gonna bring up, right?
Yes.
What are some of the titles that
So we're gonna bring up, well, what I want to do is I want to bring up like the first exposure of it. So the first time I saw it, besides my cousin, was this TV show called That's Incredible. And what we're going to show right now, I'm going to set the clip right now. With That's Incredible, they actually covered a battle in a club, probably USA roller skating rink, with incredible breakers and floor masters, who floor masters became New York City breakers. So let's watch that right now.
Come back. Meet the Dynamic Rockers. Their unique style of dancing will set you spinning.
Yeah.
Our next story is about an age-old problem with a very modern solution. The problem baffled the adults who tried to deal with it. But along came some teenagers, and they set things spinning.
In New York City's ghetto streets, one of the biggest problems to do with
see? Ghetto streets.
they're fighting, right?
Everybody ain't got problems, you know, we're from the Bronx and all that's not easy.
See, that's action from and that's Powerful Baxter from New York City Breakers. But they called themselves floor masters back then.
Most of us here, we ain't angels now, you know what I mean? We ain't angels.
So this is like the whole look. And if you notice, they're not dancing to electro.
What's the name of this track right here? You know?
Tramp.
discovered that when you put the music and the street gangs together, something very different happens.
That's crazy because like that.
The biggest difference is that with this
So
revolution,
let's forward it a little bit, just But this, like I said, this is the first exposure.
Yeah, what year is this right here?
This is 1982.
Okay.
So this is right when Flashdance came out. So we're gonna show a battle. That's USA Skating Rink, and there's a Dynamic.
Is that Dynamic Rockers?
Yeah, Dynamic Rockers for Kid Glides from.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So check this out. So if you notice, these guys are from the Bronx, right? New York City Breakers, aka Seven Deadly Sins, aka Flowmasters. They came from the Bronx, and Dynamic Rockers are from Queens. And the thing is, the fashion thing. So they're dressed regular, right? But these guys, right? They're dressed like super MC Hammer pants, right? And the crazy like vest sleeveless like shirt, right? So basically, we're gonna pause that. Or we're gonna put the volume down while we're talking. So basically, that's called the Weibo fashion, and the Weibo is like a Weibo style is from a Dolly Weibo dance, meaning like give her the eggs, give her your balls, right? They used to like so they would dress like super baggy, crazy shit, right? But this wasn't every b-boy. This was just like kind of a Latin thing. But that fashion got spread to LA, and so when you see like Turbo and Ozone do that shit, they're dance like the Weibo shit. Like you look at this is more like what you think a b-boy is, right? Like,
well, Turbo and Ozone. I mean, I don't know. I've never seen any like street media about them. But are you talking about in the movies? And how they were styled?
Yeah, how they dressed was the Dolly Weibo style, the Weibo style. So Mr. Wiggles talks about the Weibo style.
Yeah.
Like that's the Weibo style, right? And they used to just like you would grab a girl. So even Why Not teaches this. When you would do the dolphin dive or slide under her legs, that's what they dress like, and that's what they do. They would dive like a lot of house dancers use Dolly Weibo. I think that's Kid Freeze. So if you notice, there's a difference already, right? So I'm gonna stop this real quick. There's already a difference in fashion. You saw like the more of the street kids, they dress like regular Lee jeans, shirt with their crew name on it. But then Dynamic, because they want to be flashy, they dress like Weibo dancers, the baggy pants. So right there, that's where we're starting to get into. And again, the Dolly Weibo dancers were more about getting the girls. You know what I'm saying? That's what the dance was. Give her your balls, give her your eggs, right? I'm gonna jump in the air. Like that's what they would do. They would jump in the air and like kind of go near the girl's face with their Weibo, and then go down to a dolphin dive, and then go up on them and like freak them and stuff. So you already know, like you already see that. Like here, we gotta play this part. Like it's still going on, but you already see where the difference between the fashion of like okay, get the girls and the street b-boy shit, right? So right now, I think we just saw Kid Glide's dad. They just showed Kid Glide's dad event like earlier, but
he doesn't even have a beanie on his hat, huh? He's just spinning on his raw palm, huh?
Yeah. Legend. And so again, Dynamic is from Queens, so they have a different attitude towards it. You know what I mean? Like Flowmasters being from the Bronx, this is more like, like hey guys, look at even the graphics, right? That's incredible.
Yeah, that was a TV show, right?
Yeah, that was a TV show. So that was the first time I've seen it. That was the first time I seen it on TV, besides Star Wars. So I was like 6 when I first saw that. That's why everything's on YouTube, right? So I was like, let me pull up the first thing I saw. Now my cousin did it, but that was the first time I seen it on TV. You know what I'm saying? So that was crazy, right? So you could see, you guys could see the whole like Dolly Weibo style. It's very different than, like the thing is a lot of the hip hop guys, even Run DMC said that they got their look from the B-boys.
Yeah.
Which was like what you saw Flowmasters do. Now you can start kind of see where it's like, well, we need to be flashy for the girls and be flashy for Hollywood and the cameras. That's where you see the Dolly Weibo shit. And that's where we're talking about the exploitation. Because that was more like, that was cool because they showed like they showed a battle, right? You show you the TV show covered like, hey, you know, the TV show covered, hey, you know, this is a story of like two different crews, one from Queens, one from the Bronx, and like, you know, we're gonna show what their pasts are like. We're gonna show a battle. We're gonna show them train. So I think that's a good way to cover breaking, in my opinion. You get the actual story, right? Then a created story. So we're gonna go to that. We're gonna go to the most exploitive breaking movie, in my opinion. We're gonna watch, you know, Breaking with Turbo Nozo, and that's with Boogaloo Shrimp and what's Ozone's real name again? I forgot. So look at this, the Dolly Rainbow style. This is LA, of course, right? Right away.
Come on, let's do some of the stuff we do in class. Oh no, you can't.
Like, is this real? Like, will this really happen? I'm gonna put the volume down for copyright.
I mean, this could have happened in 80s LA. You know, they break into their own.
There's no way. These kids would have kicked them out. They're street kids. They're gonna kick them out. Like, get out of here. We're trying to make money.
The crowd's feeling it though.
Look at John Claude. Look at John Claude in the background. Look at John Claude. Look at this. Now here's the thing too. This is popping. How's this breaking? And then now he's locking. So how's that breaking?
It was synonymous though. You know what I mean? If a lot of the 80s b-boys, they could pop, man. I mean, I shouldn't say a lot. I'm coming. Oh, there's
Jean Claude, bro.
Look at Jean Claude in the back. Rocking that leotard right there. That's a,
yeah, and he's doing the shimmy. He's doing a shimmy from Kickboxer. Like,
yo, if you're trying to be a b-boy, learn that.
Yo, shout out to Poppin' Taco and Poppin' Pete. All right, I think that's enough. Go turn them out, man.
Yeah, right. That's kind of LA style right there, right? The dick kind of flip up and
that's the thing. It was like, but it was a different because the thing is, they started in LA. They started to pop.
Okay.
And Boogaloo in the late 70s out there, while in breaking was like South Bronx, you know, late 70s. Totally different thing, you know what I'm saying? So the vibe's different. So it kind of mixed up everything.
Yeah, so I pulled up the numbers. That movie grossed, it came out in 84, it grossed $38 million. So people made some money.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Exploitation.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah,
so
people make money.
They're taking culture from New York, right? Or popping is West Coast, right? It's fair to say.
Yep.
But they're using the term breaking, right? That's the whole theme of this movie right here. Where do you feel like it was exploited? So who could have gotten?
Because like, so compared to the That's Incredible clip, that was more the essence of telling a story of what it is. This was like none of that would have happened. Maybe the call out in the end, right? And then in the clip we saw they call out. There's no way a jazz dancer is gonna come in. It's like, yeah, these are street kids in the 80s. They're trying to make money. They're gonna get kicked out. You know what I mean? Or they're gonna exploit them. Like, oh, you want to dance? Cool, dance. All right, thanks. Everyone, like, look, you know, check out, you know, Special K, whoever that she is, and like, you know, blah 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 blah, and pass a hat around, and then like, see you later, chump. You know what I mean? Like, that's real, not this. You know what I mean?
You're telling me this movie put off the image that it's fluffy like that, right?
Yes.
It kind of watered
it
down. It's kind of what you're getting at, right?
Yes.
But what are the benefits? Like what did it do for?
And it exposed it.
Scene?
It exposed it
worldwide.
Yeah, it exposed it, but same as B Street. But we're going to talk about B Street later. We're going to talk about the, like, you know, okay. I showed one real thing, but we're going to show the corniness right now. Right now, for the next 10 minutes, is just going to be about the worst of the worst, the corny, you know, because the whole point is there's a culture behind this dance. There's a culture behind popping. They didn't show any of that.
So hold on real quick. You brought up a point in one of our discussions earlier this week that breaking is originally an all styles dance.
No, break dance. Break dance. The term break dance, the term that the media came up with.
Okay.
It wasn't, they didn't use break dance. They used B-boy or B-girl, popper or locker. The media came up with break dance.
Okay.
So then they pushed it, they put it in one thing. That was the thing.
So from here, people were all like, "Oh, okay, you break dance, so you can do the moonwalk."
Yes.
You see Michael Jackson? Yeah, he's a break dancer, right?
Yes.
They affiliate.
Yes. Yes.
This Bronx culture, right?
Yes. Breaking specifically, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And then tying it to all this pop stuff, right?
Yep. Exactly. Exactly. Okay. They're missing the context of things, and that's a problem. So when you first see it, you just think, oh, it's, you know, it's like if I call you, if you're a Japanese guy and you practice karate, it's like, how do you do that kung fu stuff? You're going to be like, first of all, I'm Japanese and it's called karate. Kung fu is from China. That guy's going to get very mad at you. Now, in the general term of like, are you a martial artist? That's probably more of a correct term, right? Are you a martial artist? Doesn't matter what the art is. But like, you know, so if you're like, hey, you're a dancer. Oh yeah, I am a dancer. But if you're a break dancer, then it's just like this thing. You know what I mean? Like it's not specific. It's like, that's disrespectful. Like if I'm a martial artist, if I do capoeira, I do capoeira. I don't do kung fu. If I do jiu-jitsu, I don't do Muay Thai. They're from different countries. They're like, respect the art. You know what I'm saying? And right now they were just like, hey, they're spinning on their head. Let's just put them in a movie. You know what I mean? Like that was the thing. You're spinning on the head, let's put him in a movie. There was no cultural context to it. Because even in Karate Kid, they were like, hey, it's from Okinawa, and the guy's Japanese. You know? And then he gave the whole story. They don't give this. They just say, hey, it's flashy. Wear a crop top, man. and wear pink in a crop top, man. Because it's flashy. But yeah.
Word. Okay. So are there any movies that did it right, that got it close?
Yeah. We're going to get there, but we're going to watch some commercials first. So we're going to watch, oh, shoot. Yeah, we're going to watch this one. So talk about corny, but then here's the thing. The kids would love it now because it's nostalgic, but they probably never even seen this. So we're going to bring up this commercial. And notice that we say commercial because that's exactly what they're talking about. It's commercial. This is commercial. That's sellout. That's commercial. So we could play this song. We probably won't get copyright.
Hershey?
Hershey. Chocolate.
Okay. Yo, this is hype. I don't need chocolate much, but if you do, I don't want it. Coffee. Culture, dynamic, there's a nice, you know, turn to it. The innocent girl with a nice little moderate bite. With the, I mean, so who was exploited here besides the culture?
Exactly, the culture was. But the culture was exploited.
Breaking American culture?
Huh?
Isn't breaking American culture, and isn't Hershey's an American company?
Yeah, but then the essence of it is not. Again, it's like it's the presentation of it, which I have a problem with. It's like misrepresenting what it is.
No,
you know what I mean?
The checkered floor. I mean, come on.
That's Radiotron, man. You're talking from '95, bro. Like, but Radiotron actually, the actual Radiotron in the '80s was a checkered floor. But and probably that was Ozrock, who was from Rhode Island, that worked with Little Caesar and them in Air Force. He actually made up the Munch Bill. Actually, I got to put up that movie. But you know, we want to keep time quick, tight. But yeah, man, like,
so what did
that was just super.
I liked it.
You know what? Okay, you know who the commercial should be? People in a cipher, like people in a circle. I don't want to say cipher because that term came from the '90s. People in a circle, and then just the people watching the guys get down, just eat a chocolate bar.
What about a chocolate bar while they're doing the move? Dude, it was a school. It looked like a school setting, right?
But still, that could be a circle in a school.
Okay,
That was
next.
still too choreographed, too like, this is what I'm saying. People will think, oh, let's think of like a musical. Like, don't do that. Please don't do that.
You know, a b-boy didn't choreograph that.
Huh?
There were b-boys involved. You know, they were making
For sure.
Right?
For sure. But then they wouldn't pick those clothes. They wouldn't pick those, you know what I mean? They did it because it's like, oh, it's giving me a paycheck.
It probably influenced a lot of people to dress like that, though, huh?
Yeah, but then, like I said, you saw the difference between Dynamic and Floor Masters. Floor Masters are actually the closest, or New York City Breakers are the closest to what it was. All right, we're going to watch another one.
All right.
Okay, hold on. You'll like this one. This was definitely exploitation at its finest.
I grew up breaking in school, bro. So, you know, that gave me nostalgia right there.
I mean, we did it in school too, but we didn't do choreographed things off the thing and just like smile for everyone.
You never made a routine in school? Damn, bro. That's.
All right, here you go.
Oh, Flintstones.
Yeah.
Breakdancing. Anyone can breakdance.
Oh, yeah?
Anyone can breakdance.
Here's the Pebbles break.
Pebbles break.
Here's the Pebbles steel.
The Pebbles steel. The Pebbles steel.
Coco, this is
Funny.
and here's the Pebbles flip.
House Fruity or Cocoa Pebbles cereal. Part of this nutritious breakfast.
That was crazy.
That looks like a fruity and chocolate. Now I want to eat some fruity pebbles, man.
That was garbage.
I get it, yeah.
That was garbage. That was garbage, bro. That was exploitive. Like, okay, yeah, they're only going by trends, right? Like the worst thing in the tell me a movie. Like they just made fun of this in a Chip and Dale movie, right? It's like there's this new Chip and Dale movie, right? And they make fun of Alvin and the Chipmunks. It's like, oh no, here we go, animated character rapping. Like, what's worse than that? What's more cringe than that? And that's what that was. Did you hear what he said? Anybody who's anyone breakdances. Like, you hear Barney say that shit. Like, what the hell, bro?
The fact that you watch Chip and Dale's, bro.
Yeah, man, it's a good movie. It's funny.
My daughter actually watches that. I should be watching it. She always like wants to put it on. I'm like, but
it's a good movie. That's a good movie. It's funny because I have actual comedians, Andy Samberg and them. They're actually good writers and they make clever things. So that was a whole thing. Like they made fun of like, you know, like animated characters rapping because that's the worst. So that's like kind of like reflective of this. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna watch. Okay, so now we're gonna watch. We're gonna watch a different thing. This one is a movie. Now this is actually in a city. And it's bad, bro. It's bad. It's bad. And there's a crew named after it, too. All right, here we go.
Can you imagine how many people was inspired by those two commercials right there?
I know. I'm just saying, though. It's a gateway drug, right? But doesn't mean it's the real thing.
I hope you have a Ninja Turtle one. That's the very first time I've seen a
That's later. Breaking was dead already by that time.
Body rock.
Look at this. Like graffiti guys really act like this.
Hey, at least you're rocking some respectable brands, right on.
Like graffiti guys actually rock like this.
It's a racially diverse group, okay? Filipino, the African American, the South Asian.
Oh my god. This is so bad.
Like, hey, we're urban kids. A crime on breakdown.
This is something a TikToker would do.
I'd watch it if this was on TikTok. I'd enjoy it.
Yay, we're all gonna hug each other and walk away like that. Yeah.
Or with the jazz sidekick.
Yeah. I don't think so, bro.
Is there breaking in this?
Yeah, there is. But yeah, all right. Had enough of that. Get rid of that.
I mean, just the song that kind of goes along with it too, right?
But see, exactly. But it's not hip hop.
Yeah.
It's not hip hop. That's why everything's contextual, right? Yeah. It's the contextual part that is the exploited part. They were like, that's too much for the audience. Let's not overwhelm them. Yeah, I just mentioned a movie called Karate Kid, where they broke down the history of like karate, because they did. Then you had like good solid characters, and it's like they went through a tournament, and then like, yeah, there was like the crane kicks fake, but everything else was good about that movie. Why didn't they make anything like that for us? Because the writer was actually a karate practitioner. If you know, the writer of Karate Kid actually practiced karate, so he did actually his history. So when he wrote the script,
we need more producers and writers that come from a breaking background.
Exactly. Exactly. That's my point. Most of these people aren't, though. Do you know what I mean? Most of these people aren't. That's the problem. All right. So we got next. We're gonna go to
So these are
what the closest thing to Hollywood that gave a good representation of breaking, even though it's still Hollywood, right? Is this battle that I'm about to show right now. Okay.
Give us some good, man. Give us some good.
Give us some good. I'm going to give you some good. And put the copyright down because copyright. There we go. If you guys don't know what this is, you guys are lost. It's Beat Street, obviously. And Beat Street was a Hollywood version of Wild Style, which was produced by Fab Five Freddy, who was a hip hop guy. They just, Harry Belafonte Jr. basically said, all right, let's take that essence and then let's make it into a movie. It's right here. This is the truest thing. How it goes down, too.
Yeah, give us some names.
Shit.
Who are you seeing right now, bro? Who are you seeing?
We're seeing Rocksteady versus New York City Breakers.
Who from Rocksteady? Give me some names.
I'm gonna drop the names as they go, okay?
All right.
This is how a battle usually starts. Like, this is the essence. They're now the way they're dressed is a little bit more expensive than what they can afford, but the essence of what it is. First up, Power for Pexter, New York City Breakers, originally Flowmasters.
Does this predate Bloods and Crips or what?
Yeah. Yep. Predates. Look at that. You saw where they were at Windmills in 1982. Now you see them at 1984. And the thing is, they actually battled. This was an actual battle. Baby Love. Shout out to Baby Love. With the Baby Love steps. We call that, you know, they used to call them salsa steps, but we call it Baby Loves to a W. Come on, bro. Look at that. Look at those, man. Now he's the one that's out of pocket. Like, they didn't have him. Mr. Wave, right? That's where the whole breakdancing is. But shout out to Mr. Wave. But then, of course, Devious Doze right here. Like, yo, I'm going to burn you. Okay, Lee's an actor. He actually learned breaking because of this movie. So he learned how to do that. He's actually an actor, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
But the whole essence of a club, you know, they're at a club or a gym.
Yo, that girl's from Commando. You remember that movie?
Yeah. That's Chong's daughter.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. Ken Swift, Kenny. With the deck. Yeah.
That move right there, that bird.
Yeah. Donkey kicks. This is before Kenny's groin was hurt, so he could still do windmills. For real, I swear. Like, you know. Action. Chino. First coin drop we ever saw, right? Like, that was a coin drop. Like, oh shit. Look how clean, bro. Like, direction. You know what I'm saying? Buck four. Bucky, Buck 4. This is what I'm saying. This is the closest to the essence, and this is not choreographed. They were just like, pretend you guys are battling, how would it be? But the thing is, the camera was on, they're like, we need to show them up. So it was actually like, the vibe was still a battle. Look at those. Like, that doesn't happen in a battle? Devious Doze, bro, with the sailor shit. Boom, 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 boom. Chris cuts. Let me look this way. Let me look that way. Where you at? I can't see you.
So
Flip Rock from the 7 Deadly Sins. Look at talk about body mechanics, right?
Yeah, no, they're staying under themselves. Yeah, they're moving really good. Dude. And like what you said about the windmills too, man. These guys are unlocking different ways to kind of turn and generate force.
Yeah. So this is what I'm saying. Like, you know, when you see crazy legs. So when you see Skillroy, you really do see this stuff. Oh, yeah. You see this foundation for sure. Like the way he moves, you know what I mean? Like everything, right? From the steps. And remember, this is before they even knew it was 6-step. They didn't know the term 6-step. They didn't know the term 3-step. They're just moving. Lil Lep from the Bronx, 7 Deadly Sins.
Oh.
Yeah. Kuriaki. See what I'm saying? Like you tell anyone that does hip hop today, they will refer to this battle. All right.
Look at that concept right there.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, man, with the track. Kid Nice.
Oh, the knee holds.
Yeah.
Tight, man.
Kuriaki, man. We gotta watch these windmills real quick, and then we'll cut this.
You ever battle in a club, bro, like this?
Oh yeah, oh yeah, for sure. And that's what I'm saying. It's the essence. Head spin to footwork.
I wonder what you were battling to. What kind of song, bro? Was it like
hip hop?
R. Kelly or what?
No, not even.
Okay.
All right. Boom and freeze. All right, cool. All right, dope. Okay. So I would say that was the closest to the essence of what breaking was. That was a Hollywood movie.
And they all got paid, right?
Huh?
They all got paid?
Yeah, they got paid. Now, as much as they should have, I don't know. You know what I mean? Maybe they got regular fee, but the whole thing is that was like the closest of. So we talked about the good. This is the good, right? That's incredible. The good, the bad. You know, the Weibo shit and breaking and that stuff, and the ugly with the fashion, right? The 80s fashion, the Weibo Deli Weibo fashion. So, but like I said, we want to end it. Like, there's another clip of, you know, obviously we're gonna keep it moving. Well, actually, let's watch that clip. We could talk while that clip is going on. So this is another thing that was aired on PBS called Style Wars. And in Style Wars, they gave the essence, man. They gave the essence because it was a documentary. You know what I mean? Even though this guy's popping, like so if you see this,
Muhammad and 808 Breakers.
Yeah, man. Shout. So look at this. Like, this is the essence, right? This is like what happened, how it was. And the thing is, it's just like, this was a battle. Maybe this wasn't a battle. And don't get it twisted. Ciphers weren't the way that a lot of the Florida cats say it was. It was more like this. Everyone's sitting down and watching.
Oh, yeah. It was definitely sitting there. Oh, I don't know what's going on there, but.
Yeah, Spider. Look at Frosty.
Oh, that was Frosty?
Yeah, that was Frosty. But look, see what I'm saying? They're not necessarily in the cipher. They're just on the side doing their thing. Kippy. Shout out to Kip. Huh?
Looking like Humpty.
That was Kippy. Kip.
Digital Wonder.
But yeah, so this is more the essence. Look, like interview style, Eddie, Lenny Land. They learned this from the West Coast though. They're watching the West Coast guys, but notice they're not in the same cipher. They're just kind of doing their own thing, vibing in their own thing.
What do you think about the style here? Good, bad, or ugly?
Ugly. I gotta be real.
I guess.
But look at the shoes though. Take, shout out to Take. Rest in peace, Take. But yeah, so what you saw right there was like a good representation because it's the best way that breaking is captured is more in documentary style. You know what I'm saying? Like in documentary style, because like you get to know the people. It's not just the moves, but it's the people behind the moves. Not in a glorified way. There's a way to do it. Like they did it in Rocky. Rocky, like Sylvester Stallone, but Sylvester Stallone wrote Rocky. He knew what he wanted. A lot of these people that made breaking, they just threw something together and put a camera in front of these guys that are doing flips and head spins.
Storytelling, man. That's how we were able to connect and buy into something, an idea, an art, culture. You know what I mean? Yeah. So they're trying to put stories to it, and it usually what it seems like the common theme is somebody from the outside. They're being pulled into their street culture, and it's a fish out water story. But then
again, like Karate Kid was that, but again, the guy who wrote Karate Kid practiced karate. When Sylvester Stallone wrote Rocky, he knew what he was looking for. He knew that he wanted to like set a movie that is like kind of pushing the limits of someone's like, you know, like wanting to win or wanting to be respected, right? Apollo Creed versus Rocky. We haven't necessarily had that because all the writers are B-boys or B-girls, so they don't know how to write. Yeah, go ahead.
Let me sort this out real quick. So you're pulling in Rocky, you're pulling in Karate Kid. The formula, loosely, I know there's other elements about it. Is there's somebody with a problem or a challenge, right? Which is the Karate Kid, Rocky, but they have a mentor. They have somebody that provides a solution and helps guide them, right?
Yeah.
But in any of these movies, how can you kind of fit that formula into it? Maybe that can help
any of these movies.
So
okay, now we're talking about like screenwriting, right? Screenwriting 101 is to set up the environment and set up the culture. And that's the thing that they don't do a lot. Like, you know, they didn't know it was still being written. And at the same time, the writers didn't care about that. So for instance, Wild Style, which is like a movie that Fat Five Freddy produced, he was a hip hop guy, wasn't the best writer, but he still set up like, hey, this is a graffiti writer. He's trying to make it. So Beat Street was that. That wasn't too bad of a story. You know what I mean? It's just they got actors that were like not. You could tell they're not from the Bronx. You could tell that they're actors, right? And that's another thing. Like, get good actors, you're gonna get good results, right? So,
do you think any of these B-boys, these real B-boys in there, do you think they sell out? Do you think there's an element of selling out
in these movies?
In the 80s movies, yeah, the Breaksploitation.
You know, they didn't know better. So they're just getting paid. They didn't know that because the problem was that it became a trend. It became the floss dance. Who does a floss dance anymore? No kids do the floss dance.
Well, it's a lot more. Breaking is a lot more in you know, depthful than that, and more of.
Yeah, no. But that's how it was treated. That's what happened. That's how it died. See, that's what I'm saying. You weren't around when it died. I remember I did a turtle when I was in 4th grade, and they're like, "Ew, why are you doing that old shit?" See what I'm saying? Like, it died. Like, it moved on. It was considered a fad.
At that point, I need my boy doing jackhammers and crickets, right?
Yeah.
I did the same thing. So.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, why are you doing that? That's old. Why don't you do the Running Man? Yeah.
My poster didn't like that last point.
Yeah, it's all good. So like, yeah, so when I was a kid, it was kind of like when I did like one turtle, I think, or one attempt at a turtle, they're like, why aren't you doing the Smurf? Why aren't you doing the WAP? Why aren't you doing the Running Man? That breakdance shit is old. That's what I was told.
So what do you think of LXD?
The director was John Chu. Who directed Step Up. He was more kind of going into the art, but he's a filmmaker. He wants to get the cool shots. He wants this concept, right? High concept. And I thought it was okay, right? But again, it featured the dancers. It was like, these are the dancers. These are my dancers, Kid David. These are my dancers. Like, you know what I mean? He featured them. He gave them like a shine. And they probably had some input versus these guys. A lot of these guys didn't have input. You know what I mean? Like, the best thing that we saw was the Roxy battle in B Street, and that wasn't choreographed.
Yeah, you can tell they're throwing burns. They're
actually battling, even though it's filming.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they didn't that was the best part. Everything that was choreographed looks canned and looks corny, but that looked like, okay, there was it looked like a documentary. Like, there's a realism to it. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the essence. And if you could get a filmmaker or screenwriter that knows how to write stuff like that, and it could happen. But right now it's just like, well, there's not a lot of MMA movies, right? There was like one MMA movie that was good called The Warrior, and that was with Tom Hardy. That was a good movie, but there's not a lot of good MMA movies that talks about, you know, fighting in the cage, right? We'd rather watch a Marvel movie where they do a keep and a front kick like they do in Muay Thai. We'll see Captain America do it, but we won't necessarily watch a movie about that. You know, the actual case there, you know, because it's gonna be close to the Rocky story. Every sports story is gonna be close to the Rocky story. Now that's the thing they tried to do in Battle of the Year, but they still didn't do it good.
Who do you think in Breaking would have a good story, a compelling story, a hero story, one that's worth creating an entire film around?
I'm not sure.
Because
There's a lot of good stories. There's a lot of good stories out there. There's a lot of good stories out there. There's a lot of people that came from struggle, and some people that didn't come from struggle. Some come from, like, you know, super focused. Like, there's 10 million stories you could tell, and the best ways, like, that's why MMA is so good, right? Or UFC is so good, because they know how to do that. They know how to compel you with the fighters, and no one can say that's fake. That's real. Like, Khabib's story is pretty dope. You know what I mean? He comes from this country and just works hard. Like, I work harder than anyone else. You know what I mean? Or Izzy, like, he's a dancer. He's like dynamic personality, same as Connor. Connor's a dynamic personality. But the problem is, like, it's not being covered. We're not seeing the personalities of any of the B-boys or B-girls so much. We're just seeing the dancing, which lasts about 20 seconds on TikTok or Instagram. You know what I'm saying?
So Breaking as a whole, it seems like it needs to enter a certain level of popularity for there to even be, for it to be worth a producer, a screenwriter to make an entire story just about that, without having to add things that are familiar, like jazz dancing, which is what we see here a lot in the 80s, right?
Yeah.
Because that's familiar. A lot of people can relate to it and kind of understand it, and they use it as a way to
have a relation to the audience. Like, there's something to relate to, right? They don't feel like, so that you need, in the stories, like, you need the observer, the fish out of water, like, that play the audience, right? You're coming into this world. But again, there's a lot of ways to do that, but we just haven't gotten it. And again, same thing for MMA. There's only one MMA movie out there. But then when you watch UFC, it's like, that's already a good story. So in my opinion, like, we need to cover it like that. There need to be features of B-boys and B-girls on the regular. That way it's just like that, and that's covered. And hopefully when ESPN covers one of the Pro Breaking Tour events, maybe they'll do that. Maybe they'll pull B-boys to the side. Maybe Cross will be like, these are the B-boys you need to, like, that are probably top contenders, and they all have a story to tell. Why don't you feature them and tell that story, right? And we just haven't done that. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's, like, one of the things. Now, how to avoid that? Now, what we're talking is avoiding this stuff like this. Be in charge. Well, actually, we don't need. The problem back then is that we needed Orion Pictures. We needed New Line Cinema. We needed these production companies. But the truth of the matter is, now we're getting more views on TikTok and Instagram more than these people on a faster rate. That's the difference. If you want to make a B-boy movie, a breaking movie, you can actually do it right now. If you know what you're doing and know your cameras, know your setups, know how to write, you could do it. You don't need anyone. You actually don't need Hollywood. You know what I'm saying? But the problem is, like, who's going to do that? That's the challenge, right? Who's going to do that?
So what from the 80s do you still think sticks? Like, what misrepresentations stick with the 80s until today? Besides breakdancing, besides the term breakdancing, besides when you talk to somebody who was around in the 80s, they're like, oh, you breakdance?
I do too. I used to do that back in the day. I was the baddest guy ever.
Yeah. So,
you know
what else do you think we stepped away from that? I mean,
yeah, we're totally we're stepped away. We're stepped away.
Yeah,
we're stepped away. Like, that's gone. That's gone, right? Because a lot of those guys are 50 now, right? That's the case. They're 50. They're not gonna. There's already Jabberwockies. There's already America's Best Dance Crew. To me, that's breakdance. America's Best Dance Crew was the resurgence of breakdance.
So what can we get from this right here? What kind of pattern can we or things should we watch out for to make sure we're not falling back into that?
Again, we knowing our worth, right? Knowing our worth, and making sure that we're in charge. That's the main thing. You gotta, but then again, it's like, okay, you gotta know what that is. Do you know how to be a producer? Do you know how to be a screenwriter? Do you know how to work cameras? Do you know how to pitch do an elevator pitch? Do you know how to do a PowerPoint presentation to pitch your thing to big executives if you want it distributed? So these are the things, like, you have to know the business side of it, not just the dancing side. You can't just be, and that's the thing. It'd be great if we all had managers and PR people.
Do you think it's selling out when somebody in our day and age goes to do a commercial, say a McDonald's commercial or something like that, and they're hanging around in a false context setting, but yet they're doing break-in and they're getting paid $100K for a commercial that's going to be a nationally aired commercial?
I don't know if they're getting 100K, maybe 10, maybe.
I've heard 100K.
Word. Are they selling out? Yeah.
Okay.
Do I think that that's what if they like it, if they want to do it, and now at the point we're getting to the point is like what you're willing to do and what you think selling out is. So if I'm like Steve-O, who likes to like eat condoms, that's nothing. I like doing that shit. You know what I mean? And if you're like a guy that likes doing that stuff, then yeah, it's not a problem. You'll do it. I'm making money for something I do anyway.
So is there a good, bad, or ugly way to sell out? How do we participate in industry while maintaining cultural integrity?
And that's the thing. It depends on the goal. I think the main thing right now is that there's no, and this is across the board and everything that I'm talking about. It's the awareness part. No one's aware.
Yeah, the ugly. I'll just answer the ugly. When I moved to Vegas in 2008, I was learning the different characters in the scene, the different crews, the different practitioners, and I came across one. He was pretty. Yeah, I'm not going to talk too much about him, but what I heard is, I mean, what was going around is he was in an editorial, a local editorial, and he's doing flares with a G-string. So that's kind of the ugly way that people sell out. He might have got paid as a gig, but those kind of things, you know what I mean? That's happening in the world.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And I would say that's ugly too. Unless he likes that, then I can't say anything about it, right? Maybe he likes it. Maybe he likes it, bro. I don't know. I can't answer that question. I can only answer if like you asked me to do it, I would say no.
That's what I'm saying. Like there's limits to it. I got asked to put on a unitard and to go dance, and break is really bouncy. So, and the unitard has everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
but see what I'm saying? Like, it's on you. You know what I'm saying? It's on you. If that's your personality, if that's what you feel comfortable with, it's not selling out. It's what you feel like is selling out. You know what I mean? It's what you feel like is selling out. So do those guys sell out? Not necessarily, but at the same time, are you in charge of? That's the thing, is, are you in charge of your narrative? And that's the thing that you do have control of. And if you don't want that narrative to be whatever, just for a buck, you're selling out.
When you're wearing a small article of fabric, you're not in control of anything.
No, but you said yes, so yeah, you are in control.
But what's the difference in the 80s when you have all these turbo?
Because there was limited. Okay, here's the thing: we have more opportunity now, so we don't have to. We could create opportunity versus back then you had limited opportunity. There was only literally like 3 network TV stations back then: ABC, CBS, and NBC. Fox didn't even exist back then, and you only had like you had WB, Fox, 20th Century Fox, Disney, and those are the major distributors in film. You're limited, so you had to sell out in a way. You had to just do some dumb shit. There right now, it takes work. It'll take longer work than, of course, if these companies come and give you money, that's faster money. But right now, this day and age, we have more control than we ever had before, as far as how we expose ourselves, how we put ourselves out there, everything. So it's like, you know what I mean? Like you don't have to sell out. You don't have to do those things, but you have to work harder. You're going to be an entrepreneur, and you have to have an entrepreneur mind to make it happen. So yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, man. All right.
The 80s, all those movies right there. That's kind of how I learned. I seen a cousin do a flare. I was like, "What is that?" He called it breakdancing. He's seen it in Oahu from
Where?
the break in Hawaii, the 84, 85 break in Hawaii when they
Right.
tell in Hawaii. That's where he seen
Yeah.
it. Then we went to Blockbuster and we rented Breaking, and that's how I was like, "Holy shit! Like this is what it is." So
Right.
it was very good in that sense. You know, regardless of how it was portrayed at the time and who was exploited, and what's important is right now people are crediting, you know, the real people that originated the culture, right? That's kind of what we're doing with our podcast as well. So this is an important era right here, the 80s, because it did spread it across the world. At the time, they didn't do a good job, but they did the best that they could, and there was very, very good benefit to it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna say it wasn't. Again, my experience was a little bit different because I had someone that did it and was able to guide me into like, okay, this is dope, this is whack, this is, you know what I mean? These guys are fresh, these guys aren't. So I kind of had like, you know, a older brother or older cousin guide what's dope and what's not. And, you know, I think that's one thing that's missing right now is that as we get into the YouTube era, and this is the ugly of it, is that people are learning from YouTube, so all the context is gone. So it's almost a repeat in a way, in a certain way. But now the movies are the competitions. You know what I mean? The movies are the competitions. The competitions of this day are the movies of back then. So, but the only problem with the competition is like, okay, I keep saying it over and over again. It's focused on one thing. And I'm more like, we could be our own movies. My idea is like, we could be our own movies. We don't necessarily need that.
Yeah,
we could create our own.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Yeah. That's it. And I think that's the main thing that I'm going to, you know, the takeaway is like, make sure you get a lawyer. Make sure you agree. No, really. Make sure you get a lawyer. You get a talent lawyer if you want to get into that field. Make sure you know who you are and what you're willing to do to make money. And if you're a cultural practitioner, then, hey, you know what? These are the standards I want. You know,
except
I'm not gonna do it
for an attorney for myself, because I would love to afford one of those. Right. I'm pretty sure much like the rest of the scene. But my last thing on this real quick, the Beat Street scene. Yeah, there was power moves coming from those New York City, right? Yeah. But they were breaking, they were battling, they were burning, they were doing footwork, they were doing freezes, they were doing original concepts. They weren't told what to do. Movies this day and age in Hollywood, hey, you got head spins? Hey, you got windmills? Hey, can you do a backflip? Yep. So it's a little more staged, and that's and even by the way things are judged on the big stage, like and look at Joe Rogan for prime example. For him, what breaking is, the extent of breaking is who?
Pocket.
Yes.
Yeah.
How many people actually think that is like breaking of the scene? Not very much, right? So in that sense, these pieces of media, it gave like the real ish, dude. Because I watched it and I came up doing footwork, and that was my idea of breaking, and that was perpetuated around the world, right? Social media, TikTok, Instagram, they want to see the flash. Movies in this day and age, they want to see the flash. High corporate sponsored events, they want to see the flash. Not always. We have exceptions, but generally speaking.
For now, yeah. It's like, that's why I said we have to be more behind the scenes than in front of the camera to make the change. You know what I mean? We have to, that's what I'm saying, like learn how to, you know, screenwrite, learn how to use a camera. You learn how to, like, because like the people that are in charge of media right now in the breaking scene, they're not necessarily b-boys either.
We got to learn how to storytell.
Yeah. 100. Like I said, we showed Kuzia like 2 weeks ago, right? Like, dude, he's doing it. Like, you know, but it's like, that's one guy. Like, I'm sure there's many more, right? But he's one that's a dope b-boy that has a rep, but still creating some dope art too. And he doesn't need anyone. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not reliant on any of these companies.
Yo,
So that's what I'm saying.
Speaking about not being reliant on these companies, Vans in the circle. Bro.
Yes, sir.
What's going on with that, bro?
So a battle just happened this past weekend in LA, Southern California. We got the Vans in the circle with Rock Force Crew, their event. They hooked up with Vans, you know, finally. Crew did it. And the event was free from what I heard. I didn't get a chance to go. But I heard the event was free. And it looked like everyone was there. As far as like all the names, all the heavy hitters were there. I think it's a good start to how to use corporate sponsorship in competition. I think it's going to be a good thing. And here's the battle. We're basically watching Squadron versus the Arizona Natives, Vicious by Nature. Right here. Okay, let's rewind it. And this time, music is not copyrighted, so we're good. Copyright free.
Master Mace, young king out of AZ.
Young king, yep. He just graduated high school. Weapon X.
Who's the first to do Commandos, bro?
Crazy Commandos. From the Bronx. Gravity.
That was a dope drop he did. Dope setup.
Melissa.
On a scale from 1 to 10, what do you think of this Commando routine so far?
It's okay.
It's okay. Nice transition, smooth.
Yeah, I like that. I thought that was to me something like that speaks more than flips.
It's personalized, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a Weapon X, right?
Yeah, Weapon X, Gravity.
Bro, look at all the gas they're
Yeah.
they're
Good start. Good start. Good strategy. Start out strong.
Yeah, but I mean, at a certain point, like Gravity went up 3 times already.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see how that right there, that gas expenditure.
Yeah.
I didn't see this battle yet.
Yeah, me neither.
Squadron, they always got the quick throw together. Like,
yeah. They've been breaking together for years too, so they have a good chemistry.
They don't practice together, but yeah, they've been breaking together. When I say throw together routines, it's like, okay, hey, remember that that little drop in the knee hook thing? Yeah, let's do that, and we're gonna have El Nino slide it. And
I hear what you're saying about Gravity, because he did go out 3 times in that Commando.
He got a tank going. Gravity got a tank.
Yeah.
Is this Weapon
X? Yep, Weapon X.
I just came from New Mexico with my boy, and they're all hunters, man, so I'm digging
it. They got the Duck Dynasty fashion going on.
Yo, I mean, the apparel for hunting is expensive, man. My boy has like a $5,000 like hunting jacket that has 6 layers. You can for every act of nature, basically.
Weapon X looking good. Grab your foot burn.
Always battling good. Always facing the opponent.
Yeah. We got my man Young Peanut.
Representing
Chicago.
How young is this kid?
He's probably like 19 now. Maybe even 20.
Yo, I like that linear 3-step he just did right there.
Yeah, man.
That's dimensional footwork right there.
Give it out to Peanut. Representing Phase 2.
Kind of a trending drop right there. A lot of people are doing that right there. I think a true cultural practitioner, they need to be aware of what's being done.
Damn, look at that windmill 90. Holy crap, control.
An extension like that.
Yeah, man, my God.
His trunk is just ridiculous.
My God.
This is a guy you don't want to wrestle right here.
No, not at all. He played football and wrestled. I'm good. Look at his control. Look at the strength, man. Holy crap.
Yo.
Nice.
Scale from 1 to 10. Pants game.
5.
5? I couldn't. He camouflaged so well. I couldn't see what he was doing with the green.
Gotta give it up to Phil, representing Minnesota. That was insane, bro.
That was
he did like a twist to a tap. That's crazy. Ooh.
That's execution right there.
Yeah.
Short round.
Yeah. Got Melissa. the girl with 1,000 rounds, she did like 20 rounds before in a break-free online battle.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I forgot who she went against, but that's what she was known for. She went 20 rounds.
I just met her in Vegas.
She's originally from Eastern Europe, and then she moved to Florida.
Okay, word.
Yeah. Of course, it seems like a lot of the Eastern Europes really understand footwork.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Their shapes are smart.
Wow.
Their positions.
Luigi. Now, Luigi did this crazy move earlier in the battle, like in the competition.
Yeah.
Was bananas, bro. Was bananas. I mean,
Luigi's still cracking. How old is he?
Dude. He's probably like 32.
Early 30s, huh? Okay.
Yeah. David, Casper, and Luigi are all the same age. Classic Luigi.
Shout out to Maurizio.
Yeah. Yeah, shout out to Maurizio. If you notice, Luigi's actually adding more character in his breaking now. He's still technical, but adding more burns and more character aspects to his breaking, which I think is really dope.
Whatever they did in Synchro there was kind of lost and muddled. Timing could have been a little cleaner for that.
I mean, the thing is, they're throwing more movements out. Vicious by Nature is throwing more movements out, yet...
Who's this? Is this Mace?
I'm not sure. No. It's one of their guys. One of their guys from AZ. But like I was saying... Huh? What's that? Go ahead.
He did a nice little back hook thing. Who is that?
I'm not sure. All right, we got Vicious Victor, MF Kids, Rebel, BC1 All-Stars, The Control, bro.
Ah. Oh.
Nice.
That's so intelligent when you can close the kinetic chain like this. And instead of having the hands apart, typically like what he did with that mill.
Yeah.
Like that.
That's
and to be able to close the chain and connect your hands and extremities to your trunk.
Yeah. That was a crazy flip, man.
Ooh.
That was insane too. The control of a flip.
Bro,
you could be inches away from a guy's face. Come on now. I was saying, like, Squadron, they're not doing maybe the most complicated things, but they're using simplicity and routine, simplicity and movement, simplicity and burns, and the confidence in that. Like, they're showing less is more through just the calmness and control. That was insane. Yo, coin drop pickup to
yeah.
Yo, coin drop pickup to a track, air track. That was insane.
To be able to switch your body from horizontal to vertical right there.
Dude. Yeah. Here's the other thing too. Like, you know that El Nino probably has a, like, this guy got me in New York, so I gotta get him now.
Got who?
El Nino, like, yeah, in New York for breaking for gold. You know how like Gravity beat him, so El Nino has this extra juice to, like, yo, I'm gonna nail these moves.
I don't know. I rarely see El Nino like emotional, to be honest.
Yeah.
He's been doing it for so long.
My God, those magnets.
Juggernaut. Look at it.
That was kind of a repeat because he Wimbledon he stalled earlier, so it's kind of like when you get excited and the music is getting you, you have the tendency to repeat.
Yeah.
Because your nervous system's trying to search.
It's easy for him to do a dope transition out of that.
Right. A lot of twisting on flips today, Arabian style movements. If you notice that, everyone's doing like Arabian twist movements.
So that's my point. Having an awareness of what everyone's doing and trying to look different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a responsibility of the practitioner.
Yeah.
That's
but it's hard though. It's hard though if you're like, that means you have to like pay attention to what's going on versus like your own echo chamber who you practice with, right?
That's a response. I mean, using the echo chamber, using the people you're around, like, hey, yo, someone kind of does that. You ever tell your boy that or what? Yo,
yeah.
Kind of like you have?
Yep.
It's a hard discussion to have with your boy, right?
Not really.
Within the art.
Not really. I'm just, hey, this guy does that. Yo, shout out to Melissa. Yo, shout out to Kid Karma watching out there in the chat. What up?
Oh, we got Carmeezy in the house.
Yeah.
Where are you at?
All right. Like I said, look at Luigi, man. You know, when you watched him in his beginning times in 2005, he didn't put so much character into his movement. Look at that. He's actually adding more character in his breaking. Like, that's growth.
Yeah.
That's growth, man. And notice he's doing simpler movements, but making them bigger, making them work for him. That's dope to me. That's dope. Because, you know, Luigi's not like Frosty Freeze, get a shot at Frosty Freeze. Dude, see, simple stuff like that, bro. That was fire to me. It didn't have to be so intricate. That was
the classic 90s.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Actually, he calls that his Frosty Freeze set.
What, did Freeze give it to him, or?
No, it's just Frosty Freeze used to like do a worm and like kiss the audience. You know what I mean? Mm. See what I'm saying? Like, this guy, he has like a lot of cool movement, but that simple movement said a lot more than what, you know, he's doing a lot of things to be difficult right now. But that simple movement kind of, to me, trumped that. You know what I'm saying? And not taking away, it's just seizing a moment.
Higher value. Why do you think simple is?
Yeah.
I mean, they're all in control. They're all.
That was nasty. That was nasty, bro.
Those that don't burn.
Yeah.
So he's directing his moves like strikes.
Yeah.
Sick. Popping out shapes and angles. He's segmenting typical transitions, which is dope. Highly intelligent. Yeah. He does it very fresh. He has a lanky body.
Yeah.
Oh, was that a mess up?
I don't know. See, and that's the problem, right? Sometimes you don't have to go big. That was dope.
That's
right now, see.
When you're doing routines, you're relying on your preparation, right? And sometimes it's hard to account for different variables, right?
Yeah. See, look at they're more together, more simple, right? It wasn't as dynamic, like flipping over a guy. But look, it's together. Even though Phil didn't jump in, he knows the routine. So, but they're all good because they're just vibing as a crew. Super simple. Like, sometimes your nonchalantness could play a good factor, and you could edge out a person by being so not trying. That was dope.
I mean, they're saying their routines are, I feel like it's almost a waste of energy. They're doing it just to do it, to be honest.
On Vicious by Nature? No. On the left side.
Yeah, I mean, Squadron, their routines are pretty much, hey, let's meet together an hour before the jam. We're going to do a cross step, a couple of stabs, a couple of gun arms, and then we're going to send the hammer in the middle. They're going to slide in. It's just they're not really doing nothing clever and creative with it.
But I'm saying, like, it's dope because, like, that already beat the other routine where it's like he tried to do a flip and you didn't know. That could have been the what they were supposed to do, Gravity and Mace, but didn't look like it was supposed to. You know what I mean? We didn't know if it was like, was that on purpose or not. It was more dynamic.
Was that the jam? Was that it?
I think that was it. That was it.
Okay, word.
And let's see the judges. That was dope. I mean, here we go. Oh, we can't see the judges' picks. It's all good. 3, 2, 1. It was Squadron that won. Yep. All right. So what's your take on that?
No, that call seemed legit. They just had a more distinctive style on the right. Their delivery, like I said, they were attacking a little more with it. Gravity was banging on his side, but you can kind of see when you're flipping 5 times in a battle, it's like, oh, okay, I can kind of see what your style is based off of.
Right.
As opposed to the other side, they had depth to their style.
Right. I agree.
You can see the difference in depth of styles on both sides in a longer format like that. Their soloists were better, obviously, right? They had Vic, they had El Nino, Luigi,
Peanut.
Peanut. Peanut's kind of newer though. You know what I mean? I'm not sure about the depth of his style. I don't know Peanut too well. I'm just saying on that level, Peanut is kind of, I would put him in the same class as like the Maces. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Even
yeah.
Gravity is kind of from that era. If you look at everybody else, they have a lot more depthful style. Gravity is developing his stuff for sure, and then adding more context, you know, direction, spatial awareness, musicality. He's slowing it down. He's showing his understanding of the different percussive layers of a funk break, which is another higher level in my eye. I don't know, man. What do you think about Luigi doing
again
Maurizio and Frosty Freeze?
I think, yeah, it's acceptable because he didn't straight up, like, he does flip it. You know what I mean? There's some flips that are going on. It's not just direct, straight up bite. There's inspiration. You know, like I said, like, if I didn't tell you, like, yo, that's a shout out to Frosty Freeze, you wouldn't have known. You know what I mean? Does that? That's a shout out to Frosty Freeze.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
I believe that was Frosty Freeze.
Yeah, but you know, not a lot of people do. Like I said, a lot of the newer kids don't know that. They don't watch Frosty Freeze.
Talking about exploitation, though, right when he did that back foot hold coin drop, what was the first thing you said? You said classic, or you basically credited Luigi for that, but in actuality, it was something else.
Maurizio, yeah.
Go back to the 80s. They were crediting, or they were coining and terming this culture and style break dancing, but it was actually b-boying. Do you see what I'm getting at here?
No, go ahead.
When people bite, they're like, oh, okay, yeah, that's the Luigi, but in actuality, it's not. It's a false creditation, much like the term breaking as opposed to b-boying. So what I'm saying is, in that sense, it's kind of exploiting. There's exploitation. Somebody's resource, their intellectual property, is being exploited. Now, I don't know what's the right way to bite. You're saying he's flipping it up. I mean, he's doing it pretty, maybe the way he got into it, but that's kind of.
I mean, this is a different subject. This is a different subject altogether now, because it's like,
he got exploited. Battle Squad got exploited.
I mean, did he? If he gives him a shout out to it, if he recognizes that's where he got it from.
But how many people heard that shout out?
Every workshop that Luigi teaches or talks about, he does give credit.
Okay, for sure. But what did you just say right there when he did it? You didn't say Maurizio. You said
I said the classic Luigi. That's classic Luigi.
So that's like something coming up. Hey, you break dance? Oh, hey, that's
I guess. I don't know. No, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. It's you break dance, because it's like, if like he did capoeira and then said, hey, that's break dancing. I look at it more of that. I'm not looking at the label. I'm looking at the context of, like, he's still within breaking. It's just from another guy. Like, when I say breakdance, I'm more referring to that. You understand what I'm saying? When I say the argument about breakdance is that if you do capoeira, people think that's breakdancing. That's my argument.
All I'm saying is the dance, the foundations within the dance, the art, the culture of breaking is so infinite, it's not needed. But I could see if not needed. Wait, not needed. What's not needed? To have to use somebody's intellectual property.
Oh, I don't know. Like I said, man, we're the only culture that's like this. Because in skating, you do if someone does your move, you're happy about it. In jiu-jitsu, if someone does your move, you're happy about it. We're the only one that's like, that's mine.
That's all we kind of have. We don't have like, I mean, I guess skating you have execution, but fighting you can knock somebody out.
Yeah, no, there's transitions. Like, there's jiu-jitsu transitions that someone else does. And then it's like, you get it, and then that person's happy when you learn it. He's not going, oh, that's mine. That's mine. That's my shit. Don't do it. They're more like, do it. And then they're more like, do it. And then I could learn it, how you flipped it, and then I could create something from that.
For sure.
But I think in breaking, we're the only ones like, that's mine. You can't do it. And notice we're the ones that are suffering the most.
I mean, that's contextual and subjective to the practitioner who's really suffering.
Yeah, it depends. Well, Marissa's not suffering. I feel like as long as that person gives props, as long as that person doesn't say I created it, I'm more like that. If he didn't say he didn't create it, that's my shout out. I have a few shout out moves.
Okay.
I have a few of them, and I'll tag the person. I'll post it and tag the person that created it. Yeah. I'll be like, yo, I got this from you.
For sure.
You know what I mean? I think that's a way to like, because if that was the case, then every movie that's been done is a bite. Look at Mandalorian. That's basically Good, Bad, and Ugly. That's basically Clint Eastwood spaghetti western with the Lone Wolf and Cub. That's a straight up bite. They just replaced the characters with a Mandalorian warrior and a Baby Yoda.
So whatever the shout out move is, it's biting. All I'm saying is it's so infinite movement, body positions, the human mind that it's not needed. And the only reason I bring it up right now is back to the definition of exploitation.
Well, if you're giving the props, if you recognize and you give that person their flowers, then that's not exploitation.
No?
No. Because if I'm a rapper and I do Jay-Z's line, it's like big up to Jay-Z, he's not going to get mad at me.
Okay.
If I say Jay-Z. Now, if I said I made up, 99 Problems, I made that shit up. It's me all day.
So saying something, hey, yo, Jay-Z, and somebody doing the move without, imagine how many viewers probably seen that for the first time and was like, oh shit, yeah. And then somebody 5 years ago who's seen Luigi do it 5 years ago was like, oh yeah, that's Luigi's move right there.
Yeah. That's why it's important that we talk about this stuff.
Yes.
That's why it's important to document. And it's just like, and like I said, he says it. He doesn't go away from it. He goes, I got this move from A, B, and C. This is my shout out move. He probably went up to Maurizio and said, yo, thank you so much.
He should.
Yeah. He probably has. It's not like, yo, I heard Poe do that.
Yeah.
Poe did Gerald's scissor kicks, one-handed scissor kicks. He's like, yo, that's a shout out to Gerald.
He doesn't still do it though.
Yeah, but I'm just saying. But when he did do it, he saw Gerald do it first. Then he did it.
He tried it out, and he's like,
But he still gave Gerald props, though, is what I'm saying.
Poe one didn't build. People think that's signature, so much so that an OG like you said, oh, Luigi's signature. But you knew it was Maurizio.
Yeah, it's just because it's relation, because I don't see Maurizio do it a lot. I saw him on a tape 20 years ago.
Anyway, yo,
it's easy. It's again, social media's visibility. If Maurizio kept breaking it, kept showing that post over and over again, it'd be different in my mind. Versus 30 years ago on a tape that's on VHS.
In the future, I'd love to see B-boys get inspired by something and be like, hold on. What's my cultural background? What's my movement background? Okay, cool. He grabbed
you see most of the problems though is that there's no mentorship. If you see that, there's no connection to the elders. That's the biggest problem if we see it, if we look at it, because at least they will give shout outs.
So going back into the movies of having the hero that needs to overcome a challenge without the mentor, the guide to help them.
Well, dude, you look at anyone that's killing it in any competition right now, all had mentors. If you look at it across the board,
now they do.
No, period. Well, now because those are the people that used to win. Look at Rock Force; they had Elder Rock Force. Look at Renegades; they had Elder Renegades. Yeah, look at skill methods. They look at Squadron is basically skill methods, mechs, and them. Like, dude, like that's the thing that no one sees. No one sees that most of these people that are really killing it all had mentors. They all had someone guiding them.
Yeah, for sure.
Right now there's not. There's now it's just like I've been breaking for 6 years. I started breaking from YouTube, and I learned a windmill.
Pre-YouTube era?
Huh?
Post-YouTube era for sure. What you're talking about is post-YouTube era. Right?
But some of these guys are considered old. Believe it or not. Believe it or not. That's what's crazy. I'm just saying this is like the thing, right? This is the thing. I'm just saying, like, look, I'm just saying is that we hold on to certain traditions, and at the same time, there's no traditions being like there's no awareness whatsoever, is what I'm saying. And whose fault is that? That's our fault. You know what I mean? It's our generation's fault. Why? Because there's no podcasts. There's nothing being talked about. There's OGs that hate. There's, you know what I mean? Like, I wish everyone OG I came up with is diplomatic as Poe, but they're not. They're just like, oh, this is my move. He's a biter. That's it. And that's the end of discussion. You know what I mean? But yeah.
Banners. Let's bring it back to the banner. This is episode number 10 right here, Pro.
What's that?
We're on episode number 10 right now.
Yes, sir.
We're Charlie Rock, right? Which they brought us from the jazz era, leading into funk music, leading into the birth of breaking. We had the OG Zulu Charlie Rock on that. That was dope. We had different b-boys kind of leading up to everything. Right now we're in the 80s. We're within this loose structure of hacking culture and movement with the breakcasts. We're working our way up to where we are now. It's dope that you know a lot of this stuff right here. A lot of the things that you brought up here and the commercials I never seen before. This is a dope episode for me right here.
Yeah, you're like, oh shit.
For anyone with GEARHDZ, if we missed any 80s cultural commercials, media influences, issues, put it in the comments right there. Let us know.
That means you're 50. If that's the case, if you're watching it because you reverse it, that means you're 50.
You're talking about that geriatric.
Hell yeah, I am. I'm one of them, bro. What are you talking about? I'm one of them.
I'm about to sleep in 30 minutes. That's why I can say, I can make a crack at it. But no, man. Yeah, this is fun. We will be referring back to the 80s a lot. A lot of this influenced by the 80s culture. With our limited media, we didn't have YouTube in the 90s when I came up. So 80s media influenced me, my generation, my era. And it was dope, man. It allowed me to kind of be in the feel of how it was. And I was battling in clubs and I was traveling to different parts of the island on bus because I heard about our crew. It allowed me to be tribal and it allowed me to understand the culture to the best ability without being there. So I think it was a beautiful thing that it happened. I'm not sure if that's how OGs feel, and I'm sure, a lot of people.
No, I think it's similar. Taking a bus, going across town, and you heard about this guy or this girl that did this, so I'm gonna go battle them, or I want to see it, or if you didn't want to battle, I want to see it. I want to hear it. Everyone keeps talking about this person, so I want to see it. So I think that's valid. No, but that's what I'm saying. That's what's different now. Is just like you could just look up YouTube and get influenced that way, but there's no context of it. There's just only context of the competition. And we just, we just broke down like fashion and directing and screenwriting. We brought up all these things to take control of your narrative. You know what I'm saying? That we haven't really, no one really talks about because they're too busy practicing for damn freestyle session. You know what I mean? Yeah. I get it, but just, think about your long game. Think about the bigger picture. Because you're probably not going to win freestyle session. That's just the truth.
You see a lot of these people like the Dietrichs and, Derek, these people that have their own community. They don't need more television to do anything.
100.
To inspire people to
100.
Generate a movement for a cause or anything
100.
like that. Anything
100.
To monetize. They don't need, So what you're saying is very valid and something that people should definitely take into account. We don't need Hollywood to achieve fame, to achieve money.
No, we don't. Not at this point. Not at this point. There's no real gatekeepers. I mean, you could be shadow banned from online stuff, but you have to do something really crazy.
I'd rather be shadow rocking.
Me too. I do it all the time.
PROFOWON.
I do it all the time. But man, this was a good show, man. Like, it was fun because I know that you didn't see some of those commercials, So I know you bug out. I know you bugged out the Fred Flintstone one. Like the Fred Flintstone one's like, I was like, oh man, silly shit.
Bro, are we gonna do a commercial for a sponsor or what? Zoom World Hemp?
Yes, right here.
Yeah.
Right here.
That's not
This
enough.
is called the Nano Drops. Just like Tony Stark, he had the nanotechnology. Works the same way. You put it in your drink, a drop in your drink, or you put it under your tongue right after a workout. If you're feeling stressed, if you can't sleep at night, it's a good way to kind of like just have a relax.
I get
Nano
allergies.
Drop CBD.
Yeah, I get allergies. Can I put it in my eyeball like a?
Damn, I bet you can. I don't know if it's gonna sting it. I bet you can. I don't know. We'll see.
It draws inflammation. You said right?
Word. Yeah. Or the roll-on, which is a topical.
Cheers.
There you go. All right, I'll do it too. There you go.
We're gonna do one. You gonna do one?
I'm gonna do one too. Yo, 15% off with the GEARHDZ. Oh, that's two.
Yo, bro, are we selling out?
It's Tangy. It's Tangy.
Are we selling out, bro?
I don't know. No, because we actually use it. There's a difference because we use it. That's the difference. You feel what I'm saying? We use it.
Yeah.
It'd be different if we didn't use it. We use it.
We're not
exploiting. Like this.
We're not.
No, we use it. We use it. I actually like it. I told you. Now, if I wore a G-string and was like, I dangled it on my G-string, yeah, it's selling out.
That would sell. I think we, that might generate.
Roman, our viewer, would buy all of them. He would buy all of them like that.
No, for real though. Yeah, CBD is not. It's not a marijuana. It's in marijuana, but it's a hemp product. This is the original medicinal plant. It comes from hemp, right? So with that being said, minimal THC, which is something that I highly favor. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't smoke as well, much like yourself. I don't need to, but I do. I get sore, bro. I train a lot, and I would before when I would smoke. I'd use marijuana, bro, for the pain to be able to train consistently, to be able to run an effective training camp. I would need to train 3 days a week and then implement cross training and mobility within that. Marijuana would help me out in the past. Didn't have that. My training, it decreased for sure. My body's tolerance, with inflammation and all that. Yeah, it just wasn't what it was, but this is definitely helping me out, man. So I'm very, very excited.
And you don't get the effects. You could be fully conscious and really like you're not so disconnected. It's not going to be a haze. You're more connected. And that's, for me, that's why I didn't like marijuana at all, because you have that disconnection. But with CBD, I get the same effects of the relaxation without the disconnection of reality, right? Or third dimensional reality. So again, go to Zen World, 15% off using the GEARHDZ promo, right? Any of these fine products. All right.
Can I do a head spin with this? Is that going to get 40 of it or what?
Can you? Can you? Let's see. Oh, shit. Don't break it. Don't break it.
Boom. Boom.
All right. So, Jay, before we wrap up, where can they find you on social media besides your handle right here?
They can find me on YouTube, BTR Breakin'. Don't go to my Instagram. It is still hacked. In the comments, guys, reach out to me if anybody can help me out. If anybody
there you go, yeah,
and knows what they're doing, help a brother out. Okay, I need to get my account back.
There you go, help them out.
If they're private messaging you, don't listen to them.
Nope.
Scam. Okay, but for now, Instagram, go to High State Rocker right here.
There you go.
On YouTube, you can find me at BTR Breakin', and in Texas, you can find me out by the haystacks out in the barn out here in Montgomery, right above Houston.
There you go.
Peace.
All right. And you can find me at PROFOWO _FLGZ on Instagram. And on YouTube, you can find me at PROFOWON. I post every Monday. It'll be either an editorial or the trades, or this Monday, I got my man before the billions, Will, entrepreneur out there in Atlanta, and he's going to be on my I Am Niche podcast, A Gen Xer's Perspective, where he's 26. I'm going to try to understand what he's going through his old millennial Gen Z mind, and that's where you really see me talk smack and watch whatever the hell we watch and just react. It's a pretty fun show, you know. Check that out at the PROFOWON channel. So this has been GEARHDZ episode 10. The 80s Breaksploitation era, the good, the bad, the ugly. And it is the GEARHDZ podcast. 50% is not subscribed, so please subscribe because we need more of you to support. There you go.
Yeehaw!
All right. Peace, and see you guys next week.